Hi, this is Mrs. Wilson. Welcome to Birthright Reading. Let's start off by saying the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Remember that we are one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And that's how you have a wonderful classroom. Birthright Reading is the @ series. You can get it on Amazon.com. Let me show you. In the beginning of Birthright Reading are the lesson plans. Everything that we're talking about here is in the front of the book. The first thing that comes in Birthright Reading is book 0. And book 0 is probably the most important. It starts off with apple, bat, cat, dog, egg, fan, gum, hat. I'm going to stop there. Before the children can read, they have to know the beginning letter sounds. And that's why book 0 comes first. So what my recommendation has been from day one is that you read this book every day with your children. Now, you also need to be testing them. So decide if you're going to break it down in 7 pages or 8 pages. But you're going to give them a % grade. And they need to be able to read it freely and easily and say those beginning sounds. The end, and then all through the book, everything else in the book, are all of these books that I'm going over you right now. I'm telling you how to do the lesson plans. And then the end of the book talks more about a word wall, which is already in the front of the book. And we're going to talk about how to do a word wall today. Another thing that you need to do is to keep grades. What's happened in public school is they've got away with % grades, and they're going to numbers or feel-good things. You don't want to have anything to do with that. You want to do % grades. When we had our lesson on the first book, A and T were our 2 letters, we took a spelling sound test. There were 6 sounds. You need to give a % grade on that, and then mark that in your book and give it to your parents so they know where their student is. And they can come in and ask you questions, and you can immediately give them a response. We also did this practice paper with the A and T sounds, and on our 2 sounds together. A-T makes at. It's actually a word. Ta doesn't make a word, but it's a sound that we need to know. You need to be able to say the sounds forward and backward. You need to count every letter that they got correct and give them a % grade on this paper. Every week you want to give them a spelling sound test and a reading test. And without doing that, you'll never be successful. I'm telling you, my children could not wait for Friday to be tested. I would call them up to the table. We would do the testing. It didn't take long at all. They were so proud, and they loved the spelling test too. They knew that by the time that they were going to be tested, they were going to be successful. Everybody passed. If you have questions about Birthright Reading, just go to yahoo.com, send me an email, I'll answer your questions. You also, as you know, need to be reading literature books to them all the time. I like Dr. Seuss's Abaca book, or ABC book. That's a great book. Pete the Cat, I love him. This has the song The Wheels on the Bus Go Round and Round in it, and and then nose. Pete the Cat has a nose for doing the right thing. And just something that I like is Go Dog Go. The children love this, and it has the word red in it, and red is the rough sound. So I've showed you this little book here, the Abaca. This is book 0. Because when I go in and volunteer in schools, I don't take the big book. I just have broken them down into small books. But this is the book 0 that I do with the children when I volunteer. And you need to grade them. You've had a week. You need to start grading them on the pages they can do, and then help them with the pages that they can't do. As long as they know, parents know, and the children know that they're responsible for what they do, they'll learn it. It makes them feel good. Okay, remember every Monday was slate day. What are our letters today? No. Down, slant, down, down, and hump. The one thing that is important when you print is to have a consistent stroke. Even though it's not perfect, you want to be consistent all the time. The second letter that we're doing this week is R. Capital R is actually hard. It's down, hump, and out. And see, I wasn't thinking, I was trying to be too precise. You don't want to go back up again. You just want one stroke, lift up, and make your lowercase r. And again, you want the chalk and the slates to be out available for the children so they can practice all the time. I had a lot of success with doing the sandpaper letters for the student, because I would have a parent come in and help me, and they would come once a week, and everybody had a sandpaper letter box where they keep them in, and they could sit down on the carpet with a friend and practice their letters. Remember, we put the dot up at the top to show us where to begin. In the Montessori classroom, you're supposed to do presentations without talking. Why? Because if you don't talk, they'll watch. The talking actually takes away from what you're doing. So we'll put our letters away. This is an activity that I thought you'd have a lot of fun with. I put a piece of paper over the front to keep the sand like a cover, and this is just sand, and actually it's white sand from the dollar store, but you could get salt, and I put it in a black box so you could see. But the kids absolutely love this, and they're sand riding like they're at the beach. Nut at the top is a little bit. Alright, so we've done all this printing, and I think you know that one thing you need to always have are some index cards and a black marker, because you'll use it over and over again. So those are things you're going to do all week long. This is our sound jars. Here's our capital R and lowercase r. R ribbon. R red. Can't get him. rabbit. And then I have a rough ring, and a rough red paper clip, and a rough red counter. And I brought a friend with me. This is a rough rabbit with a rough rose on red rose on his nose for our n sound. So thank you for Mr. Rabbit for visiting us today. And let's put our r sounds away. Just the mere fact of having a lid that maybe is a little bit difficult is something really good for the young child to work on. Okay, we'll keep our mat out and do some n's. Wagon. The n is at the end. Sun. The n is at the end. Yarn. The n is at the end. Nest. Lion. A n is at the end. And guess what's at the end? Three necklaces. It's from Mardi Gras. So we did our sounds. And we did our slates. We talked about how to grade. We use our movable alphabet. Sing abaca, abacada, efaka, ha'eja, kalamana, apaqua, rasata, avawa, yaza. Now I sound my abacus. Next time won't you sound with me? We're going to put our n, lowercase n, and a lowercase r in our mystery bag. And then we've got to get the uppercase out here. Where did I put the uppercase? Right here. Uppercase r and uppercase n. And put them in our mystery bag. And you do this in your small groups or a large group, or if you are homeschooling with your student. But it's important that you get some kind of letters they can actually feel. If the child says, I don't know what that letter is, then feel another one that you might know. Oh, I know what this one is, lowercase n. Yeah, I knew that. So, I'm not sure about that. I know this is lowercase r. Okay. Now let's see if we can get the uppercase letters. Okay, I think this is uppercase n. Yes, it is. And there's only one left. Oh, this is easy to feel. You feel a space in the middle of the bottom, lowercase r. So, the mystery bag is very important. Now, you can get all kinds of fun things to do with individual beginning letter sounds off the internet. But I made some. Do what you want to. I did a 9 paper, and they would trace, put their name at the bottom. A ring picture, again, they would trace, color, put their name at the bottom. I have a night paper. And black paper. It's always fun to work with black paper and a white crayon. This is a rough rainbow. They'll love that. And I did the tracing the r at the bottom in brown because all the colors together make brown. and then the second one in red because that's the beginning. And you know that when you make a rainbow, just remember Roy G. Biv. That's the order of the rainbow. And this is one that's very Montessori. It's you can do this with crayons, Play-Doh, paint. It's a storytelling with pictures. Red and yellow make orange. Red and white make pink. Red and blue make purple. Those are just ideas of things for you to do. Now, again, that you'd probably do one of those a day. Let's go back to what we always do every day. We play knock-knock every day. How do we play knock-knock? With an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. I said you're going to want to make up lots of these, and you cut them out, you turn them over, and you have two. It's like playing that old game of concentration. You say, knock, knock, who's there? And when you get a match, you turn it over. And if you get a match, you get to keep on playing. But the people that don't get a match have to turn it back over. I'm telling you, play this game every day. One thing that I did that really helped with reading, and you can do it now because we actually have some words, is to lay the letters on top. You can do this in a small group, and I did it while having small group reading with books, and a parent went around and checked. So our first word is nan, and we need a N, a capital N, a lowercase a, and a lowercase n. And they write that, they put their hand up real quick, you just glance and put, and you'll know to put, the student can put a check by it. But, and then they have to they use the same letters, they can take them down so they can see Ann is in every word, it's just we're starting with a different one. You think this is too redundant? It's not. The school even made a small movie about me because this allows for so much movement and so much purposeful meaning. So our words this week to lay on top are 6 words: nan, ran, tan, and our 2 old words at and rat. So we're going to lay those on top. Now, we haven't forgot about our small books. What's a small book? It can be any one thing that you want it to be. This week I did actual words: r, a, t, rat. And your small books can be in a little box. You can pass them around to the students in your reading group, or they can be up on your desk. The students know to come up and get your desk. Get them off your desk. How do you make a small book? This is from our paper that we use for our knock-knock cards. Really, all we're doing is making word cards. You could do the same thing with index cards, but it costs a lot of money. You cut one section off. Get the end there. Fold it in half, and then make your small book. What we're doing is all kinds of practicing ways that we can do so that children can be successful with reading. And last week I showed you how to do bingo. I'm going to show you how to do that again. And forgive me for forgetting to fold up my mat. I'll do that and put my mat away. And I need to put my N and my A away. Forgive me. Okay. I changed the bingo cards a little bit because I wanted to save paper. I made them smaller. I just made lines with a ruler, fatter on one side and thinner on the other, so I could get 4 bingo cards in a piece of paper. That way it's easier to cut out. I'm not wasting paper, and I can make more cards. I had to get smaller holders, smaller counters to put, do you have a ruh? And if you have a ruh, you put it over the ruh. Oh, is it a capital or lowercase? It's a capital. And you have your calling cards just like before. Again, these are all games that will help you learn how to read and have fun while doing it. Now, this is the first week we're actually reading words. This is also something I use in the classroom all the time, and again, another reason why they made the movie. You can find these at the dollar store. They used to be $1, now they're $1.25. I cut the mats for making sentences in half. So this is a sentence mat, and it's small enough to be at the reading table. And these are our words. These are our word cards. So you would give the students all a set of word cards. They would cut them out, and then you would model tan and ran. Tan nan ran. Tan rat ran. You've only been in school for not even a whole 2 weeks yet. How do we start with a sentence? We start with a capital, we end with a period. You have your word cards, you cut that out, and your students will be successful. I already made up the spelling test. Now, if your students feel like overload and this is too hard for them to sound blend, remember you're sound blending with your small books and your other papers. But if you're not able to do that, just give 7 or 6 things, just the letter sounds, and save and make this second lesson 2 weeks long rather than 1. But if they're able to do that, go ahead and give them the test on the words. And the other thing I did is that we would practice sounding r and out loud. What letter do we put for r? R. What letter do we put for a? A. What letter do we put for n? N. Are we using uppercase or lowercase? Until the children were totally secure with what we were doing. Now it's time to read book 2. Book 2 is a real book, and it has everything in it that you need. The title of the book is Ran, R-A-N, Ran, and it really helps if I wear my glasses. A-N, R-A-N, ran, and ran. Nan, nan ran. Rat, rat, rat ran. Tan, tan rat. And now we get to the real sentences. We were just practicing before. Tan rat ran. Tan and ran. Tan nan ran. It's a very hot day. They're all running to get away from the sun. On this page we sound again r-a-n ran, a-n an, n-a-n nan, at r-at rat. Right here where it says read, this is your reading test. You're going to grade them. You've got your sounding test. Tan and ran, tan nan ran, tan rat ran. Sound at, sound rat, at, rat, t, an, tan, an, ran, nan. And if you want to make the sounding part of your test, you can. On the back are the letters. They print capital N, lowercase n, capital R, lowercase r. That's it. We've done our second lesson. We know 4 letters. We're reading sentences. This is a word wall. You need to buy 2 of these, and the word cards I showed you last time you want to do in dark. Every time the kids learn a new word, you want to keep it up on your word wall. It's their words. They know what to do. I'll tell you, it's amazing. You'll have them reading with excitement and gusto in no time at all. What do we do on Fridays? We have Fun Friday. Fun Friday is our mystery bag, and the students would bring something from home that would have the sounds that we've been practicing all week. And what's the first thing I feel out here? Oh, it's a snow, and man, nut at the end. It's a ink, and that NK sound is a little difficult, but it's got a nut in it. Pink rabbit. Oh, I love this one. It's a rainbow bear. There's actually a story that goes along with rainbow bear. It's, what is this? Oh, Minnie Mouse. What is this? A chicken. And a lion. Is there anything else? No, that's it. Okay, we've got our rus for the week and our nuz for the week, and we added them with the short vowel a, and added in our t from last week, and we have 4 letters, and we were able to make 6 words, and we can actually read and sound them. Have a great weekend.